a little party, and I'm stuck behind this train, and so I thought I would just record a little something. Yeah, so I just finished reading, this is just like a little reading update. I just finished reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and I thought that I had read it all the way through when I read it the first time. I did not read it all the way through. I read maybe a third of it, maybe a quarter of it. I got to the part, actually, no, when I read it the first time, I barely read any of it, because I had gotten to the part where where like Farah first gets to Tamlin's, like, you know, the court of the spring court, where she first kind of like is back there post Under the Mountain debauchery, and she is kind of not really feeling it, not really enjoying life, but she's there, and Tamlin's there, and presumably, you know, something's going to happen concerning their happiness, meaning like they'll be happy because he saved her. No, he didn't really save her. He had mercy on her, gave her a nice place to live, that whole thing, when she came to live with him after you know, she killed his friend when he was in wolf form and everything. You know the plot of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I was not expecting the ending that I received. I was not expecting this. I don't know how to feel about it. Basically, A Court of Mist and Fury, like, perplexed and confused me. I must not have read more than a couple of chapters when I thought I read this the first time, because I am still reeling from everything that happened between her and Reese. I don't know. I'm still not over it. I'm also kind of pissed off because I've been sitting behind a train waiting for it to pass for like 15 minutes. For 5 minutes, it just sat there. And now for 10 minutes, it's been slowly rolling along. I had to stop at the grocery store on the way to this party. I did not want to leave my house. This is not new. I rarely want to leave my house. It's more just like I sort of wanted to be driving home by now because that's what I wanted to be doing. And so now I'm just like waiting for this train, and I'm like, if any other thing keeps me from getting where I need to go, yeah, that's how I feel. But anyway, I'm still reeling from the whole Farah and Reese thing. The fact that, I don't know, part of it is seeing her relationship with his inner circle grow closer, and seeing that these people kind of became her friends in the same way that Lucian became her friend in the last book. I am perplexed and confused, and like, I'm not confused, I'm taken aback by the fact that her and Reese got together and that they were mates. I'm taken aback by the fact that her sister is mates with Lucian. I want to see what's going to happen there, because obviously at the end of the freaking book, she goes back to Tamlin, pretends that her and Reese don't have a bond anymore, pretends that he was controlling her mind and this whole thing. She goes back to Tamlin, and Reese and his group takes her sisters, who, by the way, are now Fae, takes her sisters to the night court. And I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information, because she's essentially now a spy. Farah, she's now a spy for the night court. And like, who would have thunk that Tamlin was the bad guy and that Reese was the good guy? I guess I thought Reese was complicated and probably was okay, but to learn that Tamlin was the bad guy, and not the bad guy specifically because, like, it's not a stereotypical bad guy. He's the person who thinks he's helping and really is messing everything up. And I love that. I don't know. I also really loved this book more than the first one. I don't know. And now I have to read the next one. Ooh, that's dirty. Okay, so I am nearly at the party. Taking the stairs because it's dark in here. Okay, leaving the party. I had tequila, so it's fine. Waiting for the train is no longer a problem for me. I'm coming back down the stairs, and so obviously I need partnership in the form of a phone. What am I doing? So I wanted to finish talking about A Court of Mist and Fury because I don't know. I'm still overwhelmed. It's a joyful overwhelm, but I'm still overwhelmed by what happened with Rysand and, is it Rysand or Rysand? Him and Farah. I want to know, why am I out of breath going downstairs? What? Okay. But anyway, I just really, really like the vibe. I really like what's happening with Rysand, and I feel like I'm going out. This is the opposite side of the building. I need to be this. I almost got lost. Ha ha. I feel like, okay, I'm on the right side of the building now. Anyways, so I really like what's happening between, I'm gonna call him Rhys and Farah, because I just feel like there's something about their relationship that feels more real than what she had with Tamlin. I think what she had with Tamlin feels like a fairy tale, probably because it's exactly a fairy tale, like being that it's based off of Beauty and the Beast. But I wonder, and maybe this just requires some research, but I wonder if her and Rhys's thing, is that also part of the whole retelling situation? Or, because I think Rhys is also beastly in a lot of ways. Specifically, I'm thinking of his behaviors, because in Beauty and the Beast is, from a behavior standpoint, he's kind of a bit of a douche, right? But in actuality, he's not that much of a douche. He's just dealing with stuff and going through life and all of that. And so I guess I wonder if for Rhysand and Farah, they're dealing with a similar thing where it's like, he's not, like, is it also a Beauty and the Beast retelling? I don't know. But the whole little bit of like espionage situation that's happening now that she is kind of working with Rhys, because she's a Lady of the Night Court, working with him against Tamlin, but has already convinced Tamlin that she is back on his side and ready to be his, not his queen, or not his like lady, but his like consort, his wife. Like, he's not going to offer her the same kind of respect that Rhys is, because Rhys is all about her being her own person and having her own existence, and Tamlin sees her through how he's connected to her, how she's connected to him. He doesn't see her outside of herself, really. I mean, that's at least what I'm getting from this. It seems like he's more invested in how they are, like how they interact, how they come together as a couple, and what she means for their couple and what she means like as an individual with agency who has literally saved her own ass multiple times and has literally saved him at this point. I would say multiple times, because the thing that was going on in A Court of Mist and Fury at the end, where the king was, Tamlin and Lucien had what they thought their plans were for, like, they had this idea in mind of how the king was going to react. They may have thought that the king's motives were better than what they were. Like, they believed in him. I think part of that is because Ianthe was likely planting little seeds in Tamlin's head the entire time about what it was he should be thinking concerning the king, and because Tamlin really respected Ianthe, and everybody did, because she seemed normal and not heartless. And so I think that Tamlin was kind of primed to think that the king had his best interest at heart, or maybe he was just thinking about his own motives, Tamlin's own motives, which revolved around, how do I get Farah back from Rhysand, for whatever it takes, whatever I have to sacrifice, whatever, if I have to like sacrifice my morals, whatever it is, I'm gonna just get her back. When he's not thinking of the fact that she literally wrote a message to him saying, hey, I'm actually good right here. I actually need my time, my space, to not be locked in a house without free will and without the ability to move around the cabin as I should be able to. Like, all of those things are important. And so I don't know. That's why I was saying, like, I think Tamlin is one of those bad guys who, he's kind of the worst kind of bad guy, because he believes he's the good guy, which means he's, in my opinion, like a narcissist. I'm not like a mental health anything, and so I'm like diagnosing this, like, think of this as a grain of salt, okay? Take this as a grain of salt. But I think that Tamlin's a narcissist, and I think that he believes that he's only capable of doing the right thing. Like, I think he believes that because it's his idea, it's got to be the right thing to do. And so he's like a dangerous kind of, villain in a way, because he doesn't know he's the villain. And he doesn't know he's contributing to just like awful things. I don't know. I was really into Tamlin because I thought he was going to be this like good guy. And I think he was presented in the first book as a good guy to sort of confuse us. I think he was, invented to look like that. I will say that from the first book to the second book, like, there was a jump there where suddenly Farah didn't seem to like Tamlin, and I feel like that was a bit abrupt. I can see why it was important to do, but I don't necessarily see why. I understand why she didn't like him after she got locked in the house, but before then I was having trouble following why she didn't like him, or why she was starting to fall out of love with him. I didn't get it. I feel like she had gotten everything she wanted. She literally, like, she spent the whole, like, the majority of A Court of Thorns and Roses fighting to be with him. So she must have, if she's a smart girl, smart lady, whatever, she must have seen something in him that was worth loving, and presumably she's like the smartest person in the novel, or at least one of them. And so it was confusing and maybe disorienting to see her go from being so in love with him that she was willing to risk everything for him and to go through these trials for him, to suddenly seeing him as, to suddenly being open to loving somebody else, is what I'll say. I mean, I know she was guilty and all of that, but I don't know. I have just feelings about that. Although I will say, on the other side, maybe it's because, like, in relationships, like in the real world, I will say, maybe from experience, that there were times where I would be like, oh, I'm head over heels for this person. This is like my, sun and stars. I live and breathe for this person. Then all of a sudden something changes. But even then, like, there was a conduit. There was a reason why I could think about what life would look like without this person. Like, there was a reason why that happened. And I'm having trouble seeing the conduit for that with Farah, considering everything that she had done, like, up until that moment where she suddenly was like, I don't know if I'm feeling Tim. Like, I don't know. For me, it's confusing. I am here for her and Reese's romance. I love it. I love it. But I am disoriented. So, yeah. Is there anything else I want to say? There's nothing else I really want to say. I will probably include this in something. If I don't think I'll put it up by itself because it's, you know, but I'll probably include it in something. I've been spending time. I finished A Court of Mist and Fury a day ago, I think, and so I had time to gather my thoughts, and I didn't want to go without kind of cataloging what I was thinking about it, because I feel like when you first finish a book, you need to sit with it for just maybe like a couple hours a day to figure out how you really feel about it, because everything is so fresh when you first finish that you're just reacting to how the plot does, you know, how the plot came to a head, as opposed to responding to the story at large. And so I feel like I've had enough time to think about how the entire story makes me feel now that I've read just the first 2 books. And I feel like I have enough thought behind it to think through, or to understand like what it is I feel. And mostly I just feel confused. But I think once I read, what's the next one? A Court of Wings and something, I think, is next. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'll probably wait a couple of days because I have a couple of other things I'm in the middle of. But I just wanted to share my thoughts because I'm feeling so many things right now. And, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this car reading update. I often read in my car, so this is not outside of the realm of possibility for the future, but I hope you enjoyed this. And if you also want to talk about A Court of Mist and Roses, you know, the series, let me know. I know that it's been out for 1,000 years and that I'm late to the conversation, but I don't know. That's what happens when people reread things, is they want to talk about them again. And previously, I'd only fully read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and so now that I've read A Court of Mist and Fury, I feel like I understand. So, yeah, that's really it. Okay. I'll see you in the next one.